want to see that too. And it's funny because in 2022, hand-holding can be considered lesbian sex. However, look how far we've come when you can be scissoring. So it's not only just hand-holding anymore.
It's not.
And look how many women have come.
I mean, I don't usually see women coming, just because I'm never in that situation in that moment.
Not yet.
But I'm sure they have. Like,
sure.
It'd be weird.
It's like
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm glad I started recording during all of this.
Good.
So they are first Horton.
What?
I did miss some of the foreplay in there a little bit, but I did get.
Honestly, okay, I'm gonna be real. Can we be real?
Oh God.
Yeah, when are we not real?
Sometimes
Mama?
you don't need foreplay. Like
sure,
foreplay is great.
That just means you're not doing it right.
No, that's not true. Matt, you're telling me every time you have sex, you have like intimate, delineated foreplay.
Foreplay doesn't have to be intimate either. It could just be like, you know,
No.
bit,
I don't mean intimate as in like emotionally charged. I mean intimate as in like specifically foreplay. Not just like one kiss and then we're banging. Because that's what I'm talking about sometimes.
Wait, what?
Jackie
went from on my side to not knowing what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is this.
I got lost in the messaging because you said not foreplay and then you said not intimate.
I love foreplay, and I love sometimes you don't need the foreplay, you just go right into it. I'm asking Matt, because Matt was like, you're not doing it right, if he always has foreplay. What I'm trying to discern is what Matt considers foreplay. Because I'm saying, if you just kiss a couple times and then go to fucking, I don't consider that foreplay.
That's not foreplay, no.
I consider foreplay a delineated, specific set of actions prior to the fucking, which usually take more than, I'd say, 5 or 10 minutes. If your foreplay lasts longer, or it lasts shorter than 5 or 10 minutes, it's probably not foreplay. It's probably just like
first you need to start with a little tickle fight. You know, get in there, go.
Okay, this sounds child's fantasy.
No, let him do this.
Maybe do a little pillow fighting. You know, go.
Now, where does the whipped cream come into play?
What kind of foreplay
you're already
is that?
Covered in whipped cream at this point, Jackie. We're already there.
We already did whipped cream. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. I skipped that step. Right. That's between the tickle fight and
foreplay.
Yeah. You
okay.
get
So there's foreplay, then there's pre-foreplay.
You get it's tarred and feathered, whipped cream style, tickled pillow fight.
Sure.
Yeah. And if you're not doing that, then there's no foreplay.
Just a mess.
No
wonder why you have to have a cleaning service, because every time
God. He puts out the tarp.
I did open the pantry one time and I was like, why are there 500 bottles of whipped cream? And he just said, don't worry about it.
Ready Whip? Oof.
Oh.
No.
Oh, Jackie, you missed the 100 jars of peanut butter, though.
No, I don't.
Why don't you like Ready Whip?
I'm sorry, Judgy. I just don't like Ready Whip.
Well, do you like another brand of whipped cream, or is it just that specific brand?
Wait, no. You know what I'm thinking of? Ready Whip is fine. I'm thinking of the stupid tub.
The tub? Oh, that Cool Whip?
Cool Whip!
Cool Whip!
Cool Whip can fuck off a cliff. I never want to see that shit.
So disgusting.
Who eats it?
My grandmother. My grandmother, I'd go over her house when I was a kid and I'd be like, I want some ice cream before bed. And she's like, okay, here, I'm gonna get you some chocolate vanilla ice cream. And I was like, oh, can I have whipped cream? She's like, yeah, go pull it out of the freezer. And I said, the freezer? And I pull out this tub of Cool Whip, and she's like, you could put the Cool Whip on top. And I was like, this doesn't look like light, fluffy whipped cream coming out of a can.
I wasn't asking to choke and die this evening.
And I put a dollop on it, and I eat the ice cream, and I said, I don't want this. And she goes, well, you got to eat it now. And I'm like, well, it's covered in Ready Whip. And she goes, well. And I thought it was going to taste like whipped cream, and it didn't. I want to be able to knock that can back and spray half the bottle directly down my gullet.
And I also want to get a nice little quick high while I'm at it.
Huffing.
How do you guys feel about Nutella? Are we Nutella fans?
No, I'm a Nutella fan.
Yeah, I like small amounts of it. I can't have too much, but I like small amounts.
Because like my family would make full on like sandwiches with Nutella, and I was always like, that's a bit much for me.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna do that.
Thin
Nutella
layer.
cream.
Actually. Yeah, thin
with
layer.
Like strawberries.
With strawberry,
banana.
Oh
my God.
Amazing. I love it.
Anyway, that was great. Love that. Hi, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the What to the Gays Thing podcast. I'm sorry for that cold opening. That was That was a good 5 minutes of lovely conversation, though. I really
No
appreciated
foreplay.
it. No
There's no
foreplay.
foreplay.
We just went
There was no
right
foreplay
in.
there. Yeah, there was no foreplay there.
Went in.
Or I guess that was the foreplay for the episode, I guess. I don't know. Whatever you want to call it. Anyway, today with me, I have my pasta sauce, Pat. How you doing, Pat?
Well, I did have pasta for dinner and it had sauce on it, so this is all coming together.
Oh, what kind of
Wow.
sauce? Just like a marinara?
Just regular, like a basil marinara sauce with pasta, chicken, and broccoli.
What kind of
Oh,
pasta?
Just spaghetti, just regular spaghetti pasta. I have some linguine, but the problem is I've been cooking the linguine and then like I take a bite of it, I'm like, ooh, this is done. But then like several pieces of linguine in different parts of the linguine are not fully cooked and it's like crunchy and I'm like, why won't you just boil evenly? And it's because the pot's too small.
That happens to me a lot too. I feel like there's always like the specific spots within the linguine that just don't cook all the way.
You
And
really
I'm like,
need a big pot. You have to stir it a lot to make sure it's moving.
And I just went to Target the other day and I bought this massive pot and I'm like so excited to cook my linguine.
You bought a lot of pot? Well, it's legal.
Yeah, like quite a few pounds.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of selling. Do you guys know any?
I don't buy this bit because I could never see you deal drugs.
And that's why I love that he committed so hard to it, though. Just like, yeah, I'm gonna sell.
Anyway, we also have my Alfredo sauce, Jackie. How you doing, Jackie?
I'm doing great. I forgot that you called Pat your pasta sauce already.
Yeah.
I'm doing really lovely. Yep.
Yes.
I do love Alfredo sauce.
Alfredo sauce is top tier. Tier.
If you get a good top tier, yeah.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
All right, let's move in. Jackie, I don't know if you've been in one of these episodes where we're doing like these segments now. We have our first segment called Let's Get Personal, where we just chat about like what's going on in our lives. Jackie, what's been going on with you? I feel like we haven't seen you in 20 years.
Well, I've been playing Pokemon Scarlet, so that's been a lot of fun. I'm just vibing with my big red lizard and having a fun time.
That's what you call.
No. I was kind of hoping. Yeah.
Just vibing with my big red lizard.
Vibing with my big red lizard.
I'm vibing with my purple lizard. My big purple lizard.
Why is it
Your
purple?
Big purple lizard.
Almost looks like an eggplant.
Isn't it blue?
It's violet. It's violet.
Okay.
Because that's the game, Violet.
Huh.
Oh, right. That's what we're talking about.
You're turning violet, Violet. Anyone get that reference?
Yes. Yep.
Thank you. I don't know, Matt.
No, I don't understand the reference. I'm sorry.
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory? Or Willy Wonka?
Willy Wonka
and the Chocolate Factory.
What's the difference?
Well, one is the
Charlie,
original with Gene
yes.
Wilder, and then one was a remake with Johnny Depp.
I did not like the remake.
The remake was supposed to be closer to the book, but like, there's no better Willy Wonka than Gene Wilder. Like, he was an amazing actor and hilarious, and
he was.
I miss him every day.
Yeah.
Pat, you and I went to Disney. That was some fun times. What would you say was your favorite park that we were at?
Islands of Adventure, I guess.
Yeah, Islands of Adventure is fun.
I had the most fun on the rides there, except for the fact that it was raining heavily and we were pelted.
Did you guys get hit by the hurricane? Like, were you in the?
Yeah, it was more like a slap. It wasn't like a full hit.
Okay.
We weren't beaten.
A tap.
But we were
a little spank. A little spank.
So like an open fist scenario.
Yes.
Cool.
It wasn't violent, although there was one downed baby tree we saw.
Oh,
yeah, it was cute.
What was your favorite park, Matt?
Probably Islands of Adventure as well, but I will say my favorite ride was that new Guardians ride that we went to in Epcot. That was fun. That was
What was your Jackie?
Oh, I was gonna say I don't know the Disney realms, so
it's like the 9 realms of Asgard.
Okay, so give me a high-level overview of each one.
So Universal is like Universal Studios and Universal Islands of Adventure, where Universal Studios is more like the films and television shows, and it's more of like interactive, where Islands of Adventure has more of like the roller coasters.
Oh, okay.
And you could go to Hogwarts on either side, though. There are different parts of Hogwarts.
Neither of which is Disney, though. Those
Neither
are
of
not
which is Disney. Those
got
are Universal.
it.
And then Disney, oh god, it's like Magic
lot,
Kingdom,
right?
Epcot, Animal Kingdom, studio, Walt Disney Studios
Hollywood
or Hollywood
Studios.
Studios, whatever. It's a lot, and
A
it's all
lot.
it's been like bisected, trisected to like smaller areas.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, and they all have different rides.
Yeah.
Yeah, and apparently in Hollywood Studios, there's this lovely new Star Wars area that I didn't get to see because I was sick.
Yeah, I
Oh,
saw the
baby,
Star
that was
Wars
when you were
area.
sick.
Yeah.
Oh.
Matt? What was your favorite moment of the trip?
My favorite moment.
I'll tell you
Oh,
mine.
oh, you have a favorite moment? Go ahead, tell me
Yeah,
yours.
waking up at 5 a.m. and
I knew it.
vomiting.
I knew it. I knew it was gonna be.
Waking
I
up
knew
at
it was gonna
5
be that.
a.m. and doing the same thing the night prior, but this time going, oh, I do have to vomit this time, and then just
Ooh.
throwing up, taking a shit, and then throwing up again.
Amazing.
Wait,
Both
why
ends.
did I also vomit at 5 a.m. though when I
I
vomited?
think we had a stomach thing, and it was hitting us. It has some circadian rhythm,
Mm.
and it knew when we were at our most vulnerable, when we're
5
sleeping.
a.m.
Yeah.
And it woke us up. I was so nauseous. I walked over and, went, "Ugh," and all the mac and cheese I ate, all that mac and cheese.
No, not mac and cheese.
For me, it was Chipotle. I ate a whole bunch of Chipotle the night before, and then it
Yeah,
came
and it
right
was,
back up.
and I heard Matt, and I felt so bad.
Oh,
I was like,
was it
"Bleh."
Poconos level?
No, it wasn't
No.
that because it wasn't
Okay.
like it wasn't long. It was just like a little bit, and then
Yeah.
and that was about it.
So as Matt was throwing up, he somehow was also saying, "I'm horny," and like all the other.
He was screeching,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, because
Yeah.
for a while, when I first started getting the scratchy throat from the sickness, I thought it was just because I was just constantly screaming that whole trip.
No,
I mean,
no. It's
fair.
because I got him sick. I got everyone sick.
Yeah, then I realized
Zero.
it was not it was bad. That first day when I started getting the scratchy throat, oh, that was not good.
Yeah.
And then I died, so that was fun.
Yeah. I powered through though.
You did power through.
Humble fucking brag.
Were a lot stronger
Well,
than me.
Well, I will be honest, the day after I threw up, the morning after I threw up, we went to one of the Harry Potter worlds, whatever. We were online for the first ride, and I was deceased. I was just standing like this, just kind of leaning on things. I ate a bunch of Pepto-Bismol because I was like, this better kick in, or I'm gonna fucking puke on everyone. But thankfully, I rallied halfway through the day. It was lovely.
Nice.
Nice. Which day was that? Was that our Hagrid's day, or was that?
That was Hagrid and Velocicoaster.
Oh, oh yeah, because we went on Velocicoaster like 3 times.
It was
Oh.
I'll remember that. I'll remember how smooth it is.
Ooh. All right, let's spill the tea because I know we got to talk about this Pokemon game.
Well, what do we do first? Do we talk about the super depressing thing first, or we talk about the super fun thing first?
Depressing.
Let's go.
Get out of the way.
No, let's do the depressing thing in the new with the gay section. Probably I think is what you're
Oh.
talking about.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
let's talk about the Pokemon game then.
Velocicoaster?
Okay,
Jackie's
moving
still on the. Jackie's
Sorry,
on
you
the
know
ride.
what this is? I'm googling it. I love Jurassic Park. That looks so fun.
So, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet came out on last Friday, right?
Yes.
Last
Yeah.
Friday.
Mhm.
And we all have it. We're all probably at different stages of the game. I'd say we're all still early. Let's just go. Okay, let's make this as organized as possible because I could spend an hour talking about it, but we can't do that. So, how about we answer just 3 questions each?
Okay.
First question, what's your overall impression of the game? What do you think about the performance controversy of the game? And what's your current favorite new Pokemon that you found? So Matt, what's your overall opinion?
Okay. I like the game. I think the core gameplay is fun. I like being able to run up to my Pokemon and see which ones that I want to battle instead of just like the kind of random encounters that previous Pokemon games had. I will say I do miss the whole thing in Legends Arceus or Arceus, where you could just throw a Pokeball at a Pokemon and catch it without having to battle it. I do miss that. And I think that's where I wish they would have went with this game, but they instead decided to stick with the battling to catch the Pokemon, which I guess is fine. But I liked how they did it in Arceus. But anyway, overall impression, I'm enjoying the gameplay. I do think that it could be prettier, I guess, because we've seen so many other beautiful games on the Switch. And I just feel like this game, and even Legends Arceus too, was I felt this way about. Like, you could make it so much prettier. Breath of the Wild was a beautiful game, and I
Mm.
just feel like they didn't do a very good job um, with the art of the game. I'll say. How about you,
Okay, and
Pat?
what? Oh, okay. Fine, we'll go question by question. I think it's fine so far. I'm not like living, but I'm not dying.
Sure.
Because it feels a lot like Arceus, so I was like, okay, this feels similar to what we just had. Um, I like the open world concept. I hope every Pokemon game moving forward is just open world in terms of like running up to Pokemon, having them in the overworld. I like the three kind of paths, three storylines you got going on. It makes it feel like the game's gonna be much longer than like previous games. Um, I don't like all Pokemon gaining EXP every time I do
Yep.
anything. I don't like that. But again, right now it seems like this level scaling is okay. I'll wait till later. And it can be way prettier. This game's ugly. This game is ugly. And I'm not saying Pokemon has to look like Unreal Engine 5, God of War, Ragnarok, The Last of Us Part 2. Pokemon should never look realistic. It should never have a hyper realism. It should never look flawless. It should look cartoony because it is sort of cartoony. But it can look so much better than it already does. I saw a screenshot of Pokemon Sword and Shield of a battle, just how like it looked when you battle two Pokemon. It looks so much better. Just in
Didn't it?
terms of like the resolution of the Pokemon, the color vibrancy, the color saturation, the objects, it just looked prettier. And I'm like, why, if we had it in Sword and Shield, could you not just make it pretty like that game? Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. I feel like Pokemon needed a big change in its mechanics. So we got like Arceus and we have this. It's a huge mechanic change, but now we need a facelift. We got to,
Hmm.
the
Yeah.
aesthetics need to be
Yeah.
revamped.
Joe Biden's eye lift.
Joe Biden's eye lift.
Jackie, what do you think about the game overall?
So I am enjoying it so far. I haven't played a Pokemon game since Fire Red and Leaf Green, which
Back when
was
you were like 5 years old.
5 years old, just a little baby.
Yeah.
So that was like 2006, I think, if I remember correctly, and it's 2022. So a long time since I played a Pokemon game.
Yeah.
I really enjoy, to me, it's still like so significantly new that I'm really enjoying everything. The open world is very different, and I didn't play Arceus. Um, so that element is so fun. I love watching the little Pokemon just run over and the little hoppets floating through the air and everything. I
Yes.
love that element. I do agree. When I heard about the performance issues, I was kind of willing to give it the benefit of the doubt, because I wanted to see it firsthand. But now, having played it, the performance issues, yeah, I know it's a separate question, but I do want it to be prettier, and I think that also ties in with the performance issues. I want it to be
Yes.
Mm.
prettier. There was a Pokemon like screenshot. There was something that happened in the game, and maybe a cutscene where, to your point about Pokemon looking cartoony, it looked too low of resolution to look cartoony, and it ended up just looking extremely bad. Like, it wasn't coming off
Yeah.
across as cartoony, and that moment took me out of the immersion so fast. I was like, well, what the fuck is that blob on the screen? That's not a
Right.
Pokemon.
So let's talk about the gameplay, the performance. Um, So I don't like it, obviously. I'm kind of confused because Arceus had like some minor stuff, but I don't remember it ever being this bad. Like
No. Yeah.
sometimes like when you throw a Pokemon and you'd instigate like a battle, when the camera shifts, sometimes yes, the camera would kind of clip through an object and you'd see the underside of the object when you really weren't supposed to. I understand that, especially since they probably did not think about all the ways you could start a Pokemon battle, all the angles of all the uneven terrain. So camera movement, clipping through objects, I kind of get. However, objects not being loaded in or being loaded in improperly or like Pokemon just vanishing or I don't know if you've noticed this, but when I throw a Pokeball at a flying Pokemon, the ball just floats in the air and wiggles. It doesn't drop to the floor. But like if it's a standing Pokemon, it hits the Pokemon and falls to the floor. So I'm like, this doesn't make any sense. Why is the Pokeball just stuck in air, hovering, shaking, instead of just dropping like it would if you threw it on a regular Pokemon? Totally a like nonsensical minor detail, but I think it just speaks to like some of the stuff that was so glossed over that they didn't even think about looking into them, which is surprising because I assume Game Freak had two games in development, Arceus and then Scarlet and Violet, because they pushed Diamond and Pearl to that other company. That's probably why they couldn't do it, because they were already producing two games. Like, how? I'm sure they're built on very similar engines because they operate similar. How did like all this stuff just like fall through?
It doesn't. It's not finished. It's not a finished game.
No.
Yeah, and
Someone didn't playtest this game.
I understand people because some people are like, oh, well, you know, they release the game and they see what gets wrong and then they just patch it. And I was like, well, yeah, but like, you shouldn't have people purchase a game to play test it. That
Right.
shouldn't be a thing.
Right.
It should be like a beta you release, which is a small,
Yes.
like just a small version of it, or you send it to like specific play testers under an NDA. They can't tell anyone about it. That it shouldn't be up to the consumer to play test the game for you and to troubleshoot things for you. I don't think that's fair, especially because this game's like what, $50? It's like
60?
60, 50,
Yeah.
60 bucks.
I think it's like, yeah.
It's a
I
full game, and
Yeah.
it's very strange because Pokemon doesn't release. If you think about the reviews of Pokemon games, besides Diamond and Pearl Remake, because that one was a flop, but I'm going to discount it because some other company made it. Pokemon games don't flop.
No.
Mainline games specifically, they don't flop. Even Sword and Shield, which I don't like, didn't critically flop. It did very well and sold very well. So a lot of people were like, oh, Game Freak probably just thought to themselves, it's a Pokemon game. They'll all buy it. We'll make the money off of it. And we'll just fix it later. And I was like, that's not a good way to treat your fans.
But are they even gonna fix it later? Where's the patches? Like, how
Well,
long have we been out? It's been a
it's-
week now, right?
I
Or close
haven't
to?
even heard a statement. Not a statement.
You're
From
right. There hasn't been a statement.
Nintendo or Pokemon Company, nothing. And I'm like,
It's weird that they've been so
Hello?
quiet because, to your point, they have been historically very well polished games and pretty well received. So I don't understand what the fall off was. I'm curious if the Scarlet and Violet were going to go in a different direction, and when Arceus came out and was so well received that they switched directions and now just are catching up on bugs. And I do think if that's the case, you should have pushed your release because it is not 100%. It's not fair to put that on the consumer to be playtesting your
I
game.
would rather have the game delayed and wait
100%.
Yeah.
I would wait.
than have it come out like this, because I haven't even seen like too much of what I've seen online, but from what I've seen, like alone, it's just been like, this isn't right.
Yeah, same. I haven't seen any bugs. I wanted to stay impartial, but the bugs that I've encountered, mostly minor, but they're enough that I'm like,
Yeah, Pokemon
why
bugs.
isn't this
Bug type.
Bug
Bug-
types, yeah.
bug type? Yeah. Why wasn't this polished more?
Yeah.
What I will say, about all these bugs, I did see a lot on the internet prior to actually going into the game. I haven't seen like a lot of bugs in my game. Like the whole Pokemon disappearing or like riding on the invisible boatmobile. Like I didn't get any of that. But the frame rate issues are just
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
everywhere.
Yes.
They're everywhere.
Yeah,
And I'm
like when
like,
you
what
walk into a
happened?
zone and you see people moving
Yes.
at clipped speeds,
It
and then when you
looks like
get
a
when they
stop
get
animation.
close, when you get close to them, they go into regular, just smooth walking. But just go like 10 feet away from them, and they are
Mhm.
stop motion. It is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Yeah.
It
When
is
I
a
walked
Tim
into the-
Burton film.
It's a Tim Burton film, Pokemon, Scarlet and
Yeah.
Violet. When I walked into the city of the school for the first time, I was like,
Oh.
whoa, look at all these robots.
It's a huge zone with tons of people, and I was like, I don't think it's a Switch performance issue because I think the Switch can handle it at least a little bit more than it's currently being handled. So I'm like, is the game just not out? Like, because I'm not a game developer, I can't speak to everything, but I assume it's because not enough of it is being allocated to what you see, and so more is being allocated to what you can't see or in the distance. So like
Mhm.
if you clip some stuff off from the distance, you could allocate more of your, I don't know, game to like produce a better frame rate for the things that are closer to you. You lose more of the illusion of it being open world, but at least the world you're in is a little more engaging and engrossing.
I really thought that I would have had a couple loading screens, especially when entering the city. I would have rather had a loading screen than have robot people, and still kind of have like a hybrid open world scenario. I'm fine with a loading screen. I mean, look at Skyrim. You're just in loading screens
The whole
Yeah.
time.
the whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
I would have rather have that than have the performance issues and bugs that I've had because of how world de-immersifying they are.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about our favorite new Pokemon, Matt.
Okay. I thought about this briefly because I wasn't ready for this question. I haven't seen. I try to stay completely spoiler free on the new Pokemon. I'm very early in the game right now. I think I have like one badge and I beat one Titan Pokemon, so I'm like very early in the game. Have not seen a whole bunch of new Pokemon. That being said, I don't like the Pokemon I've seen so far.
Oh,
Me neither. Me neither.
wow.
There's a lot of tiny ones that I keep running over on my bike,
Oh yeah,
and
yeah.
they're ugly.
Yeah. Wait, what's that little like one with the snoot? The snoot and then the teeth come
Oh
down?
yeah, the
What
poison
the
one.
fuck is that?
Oh,
Yeah.
so ugly.
It looks like
so
a shoe.
ugly.
I hate it.
Mhm.
I'm not. There are like two that I'm like, oh, this might evolve into something lit, but if it evolves into something ugly, I'm over it. I'm over it. So Matt, what is your current favorite that you have if you had to pick one?
Okay, like I said, I'm not a fan so far of the Pokemon I've seen.
Okay.
I guess maybe with Fuecoco because I do like Fuecoco's design. I don't really like its second evolution because that's what I currently have.
I feel like a lot of secondary forms, though, for starters, aren't the best. So I'm like,
yeah,
I'm holding out.
yeah. So Fuecoco, I like Fuecoco the most probably. I'm waiting for some of these Pokemon to evolve into something maybe I'll like. Like I have Fido, which
Oh,
Fido
yeah.
itself is cute, but like
Cute.
it's not my favorite. But maybe it'll evolve into
Yeah.
something that I like. I don't know.
I will say, not to spoil any particular evolution, but I have seen some evolutions of some of these Pokemon, and I'm just like, just like.
The only one
don't-
that I
it-
saw, the only one that I saw was the evolution of the chest, the mimic Pokemon.
Oh
What?
god, that was
it's so
fucking
funny.
weird.
It's so
It's
funny.
so fucking weird. But I've seen some other evolutions, and it's giving nothing.
It's giving nothing. It's like giving season.
It's like it evolves and gives nothing. It's like, oh yeah, clearly they're related. They look so fucking similar. It's like I don't expect a rapid form change, but I expect something, and it's giving nothing.
It's giving nothing.
It's
giving
giving.
nothing.
So Jackie, what's your new favorite? If you
Well,
have one.
I like I'm even earlier in the game. I've just started my independent study type of thing, and I'm on my way to do the first gym. I like my big red lizard. I like them.
Yeah.
I like my starter. I don't I don't like the starter's evolution line, and I'm debating just keeping it as a little kitty because they have to take a cat and they have to make it a goddamn bipedal furry.
Oh my god, did they make it a bipedal? I haven't seen the evolutions.
Oh fuck! I didn't mean to spoil you, but yes,
Well-
they do. Yes, they do.
He doesn't have Sprigatito, so he's
I
not gonna
don't,
run
I
into
don't.
it
Yep.
normally. But
Yeah,
I will say that Quaxly's evolution is not cute.
it's
The middle form is not cute for Quaxly, I will say. It
Yeah.
gets ugly. It's like
look up
ugly. It's sort of like Wartortle to Squirtle. It's like chunky
yeah.
and like disproportionate.
Quack.
It's in its teenage phase. It's teenage
called-
phase.
the-
Everything's awkward.
The evolution is called Quaxwell.
Sorry, what? Quaxwell?
Quaxwell, yeah, like Maxwell.
Quaxwell. I love that. I kind of like the name.
It's a great name. No, it's a great name. But it's
Ooh.
not my favorite. There's legs, the legs,
Ow!
the tube, the sausage legs.
What is that? Its main body looks like a fucking garlic. You know, like when
Okay,
the
I'm gonna
garlic
look
is
it
the
up.
whole shell. It looks like a garlic bulb that you
So
just stuck legs on,
Yeah, well,
threw on some wings.
Well, you did.
I'm
You
gonna look
did.
it up. I'm gonna look it up.
Oh
His
my!
name is Quaxwell.
Oh, hello there.
Is that like a xenomorph head? Extra polished? What is that?
Xenomorph head. But I will say my favorite so far is so I've just catch every Pokemon I see, even the new ones. I'm just catching
Mhm.
one of everything basically.
Same.
I have a full party, but I'm only using 3 of them. I'm just keeping my party to sort of level them up, and see if they evolve into fun things. But um, Quaxwell, I love Quaxley, but Quaxwell is ugly. But I did just find this Pokemon. It's called Capsicid, and it's like I'm not gonna tell you what it is because you guys want it, but like the face it's making.
Oh my
It
god.
just
I
looks
will look it up.
so angry and like it's got like a tiny little mouth. It looks so angry but really small. It looks like an angry
looks like an-
child.
Or like an angry old person.
Yeah, and
Mm.
I don't know if I'm gonna keep it. I hope it evolves into something cool. But I'm looking at it and just the its angry face. I saw it in the wild and I was like, the amount of times I've seen something going, what the fuck is that? And I have to run over and be like, what is that?
What was that?
It's
What
because
was that?
all these Pokemon are so tiny in this game.
Oh.
It's so hard to see them, and I have to run up and be like, "What is that?" And I'm like,
What up, you
"Oh."
bitch?
Oh my god, I'll
But-
just be vibing on my lizard, just roaming around, and I'll just run into every Pokemon because I don't see
Oh.
them.
Especially at nighttime, forget it.
Yeah, but Capsicid is really. I hope it gives when it evolves.
I looked up the evolution. I can't wait to see your reaction if
Oh,
you get
no.
there.
All right, let's move on. We talked about this enough.
Yeah. Should we go on to politics? Why does politics suck? I don't really know if I feel like talking about politics, but we could talk about something.
I mean, I got my loan forgiveness verification, but
I did
sadly,
too.
they're all tied up in the court, so we can't get
Yeah,
any loan forgiveness right now.
I just got my. When did you get yours, Pat? I just got my email like the other
Like
day.
last week, I saw it.
Yeah, yeah.
And they said you can be eligible, but and I was like,
Yep.
oh, here we go.
Yeah,
They're
we'll
like,
go.
you're approved, but like, can't
Yeah.
do anything.
They said in the email they were like, we don't think any of these lawsuits have merit, and I was like,
yeah.
prove it.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean,
So
if it goes up to the
that's me.
Supreme Court, you know what those fuckers are gonna do up there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Pass it.
Get bent.
Pass gas, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's all politics.
There are a bunch of
does.
old farts up there. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
Anyway, the midterm elections also happened.
they did.
It looks like Republicans are going to take control of the House, but the Democrats are going to keep the Senate. So we're going to have 2 years of basically nothing happening, is what I'm getting. And that's basically it. We're just going to have 2 years of nothing really happening.
But the Marriage Equality Act passed. Now it has to be signed
I
into
didn't hear
law.
about that.
That is a good point. That is a good point.
And that was something that both the Senate and the House agreed on.
I also have a positive politics point.
Yeah.
We fucking went to battle against
Man.
Dr. fucking Oz, and
Yeah.
we won. We
And now
won.
you got that tall dude now.
Yes,
Fetterman.
Fetterman.
Oh, he's huge. He's massive.
Massive.
His wife's great. This is
I
a
haven't
picture of
seen her.
him. There's a picture of him like looking because he's got a goatee. He looks stone faced, and his wife's just like, she's serving a look. She's like hand on her hip, ass out next to the office,
Ow!
like.
Better work,
I
bitch.
love it. I love
I'll
it.
have to look up that photo. Yeah.
I love it. She's probably living for it. She's like, oh,
All I know is they have about them personally is that they. Well, I know a little bit more, but one of the things I do know is that they have 2 adopted, I think, pity rescues. So we love to see that. We love to see dogs.
yeah.
But we defeated Dr. fucking Oz. It
Wasn't it close though?
was close.
And I'm like, ew.
I know.
I want to know who my relatives voted for, if they even voted at all, because they live in Pennsylvania. I'm gonna be like, so who did you vote for?
They probably went out.
Dr.
They probably
Oz.
went out. Dr.
They
Oz.
probably went for Dr. Oz because
Dr.
Why
Oz.
not?
I think the governor race was less close.
Yeah.
I think Mastriano, there was a more significant gap between Mastriano and
And we got our first
The other
lesbian
guy.
governor, right?
Who?
Massachusetts, yes.
I don't know her name.
I forget her
but
name as well.
She's a
Goodness.
lesbian governor, the first one.
We
and,
love to see it.
I saw some ridiculous stat that like out of every governor the United States have ever had, it was like 3 of them have been black. Or 8 of them? There was some hold on. I'm not gonna just spew statistics. I'm going to confirm it. Okay, how
Tell me the
many
truth.
But
black
would we be
governors
surprised?
in history? Okay.
Oh yeah, because Maryland elected a black governor.
Yeah. Here we go.
Didn't Georgia?
No, Georgia reelected whoever their white ass man is.
Oh, okay.
Instead of Stacey Abrams,
There
which
was some.
they lost it there. They
Oh,
lost
you
it
know
there.
what?
Stacey Abrams is great. Oh.
Okay, I think it's 3. I think they just had one in Maryland. Democrat Wes Moore was elected Maryland's first black governor, and then it says only 2 other black politicians have ever been elected governor in the United States: Virginia's Douglas Wilder in 1989 and DeVille Patrick of Massachusetts in 2006. So out of
Ew.
all the governors we've ever had in this country, 3 of them have been black.
Ew.
And it's just, I don't know how many have been women. I'm sure it's still a very low number. But it's just wild. It's really wild.
Oh, Carrie Lake lost in Arizona to Katie Hobbs. But that's good because Carrie Lake was batshit crazy.
Wow.
How like a man to call a woman crazy?
She was all about like Donald
she?
Trump's voter fraud, so she was batshit crazy. I'm sorry.
I think I did
love
hear that.
I love that.
She's a
Oh, I don't know
big
who I'm
Trumpy.
thinking of.
So it's good that she lost.
Good.
Again, about that, what do you call it? That marriage equality thing, though. You also saw that post that like Mitch McConnell voted against it, even though it protects interracial marriage, and he is part of an interracial marriage.
Yeah.
He's that white man.
What?
He's a white man married to an Asian woman, I believe. And he voted against the Marriage Equality Act because it probably also protected, obviously, marriages between not a man and a woman. But it also protected interracial marriage, and he voted no to it. And I'm like,
It's because he's homophobic, obviously.
I'm like, I don't know if the country is ever gonna get to a point where we are against interracial marriages. I don't know if we're gonna backpedal that much, but just to be safe, you should have just voted for it. Just to be safe. Because you never know when your rights are gonna get taken away.
But it's Mitch McConnell.
Yeah, I wonder if he thought he would have been dead by the time that anything would have happened.
Well, if
about
we're
his
lucky,
marriage.
that'll be that.
If we're lucky, I don't think we will be. But one can hope and dream.
Oh, Nancy Pelosi is also stepping down as the top Democrat as well.
I did see that.
Do we care? Clap if you care.
Oh, I care because I don't want her there.
Oh.
Yes.
She had the right idea. She in her little speech, she was like, "It's time to give control over to like the next generation of Democrats." And I was like, "Well, she's right.
She is right.
She's right.
Old
She's
people gotta
got a point.
let go."
I agree with that. And I think I feel bad for her that in a way that she didn't step down sooner because of the horrible attack on her husband. Like that is
Right.
really unfortunate.
Oh.
And I think that
Yeah.
it's sad because like you can't really say, oh, that would have been prevented because it shouldn't have happened to begin with. We should not be, attacking our politicians unless your name is Mitch McConnell. But
Jackie
We're not gonna
promoting
incite-
violence on
We're
our
not
podcast.
promoting violence on
Listen,
the pod.
I don't know. Assassination can go just a little bit, can go a long way. Not them, whatever.
I'll suck my
I'm just
dick.
saying. What?
When the FBI
So-
comes knocking on your door, Jackie,
What?
I'm
Her emails.
but her emails.
So yeah, I wanted wrongdoing on Mitch McConnell, but what about her emails?
But what
Like,
about her email?
what about Ben?
Speaking of inciting violence, let's get to the sad part. What's new with the gays?
Well, let's start with the less sad one.
Okay, what do you
Because let's save
have?
the most sad. So, in New York, there is this guy. There's this at least one guy, if not multiple guys, who keeps throwing bricks at the club Verse.
Yes, I
Yeah.
saw
At
that.
the glass window. And recently I saw the video. This ugly ass man, looking white man, went up to the thing, took a brick, threw it, ran away, and then ran back the other way. Like a coward.
He pointed. He was like, yeah, that fucking scumbag went that way.
Yeah. He's like, oh, huh.
Oh, I don't know.
And it's happened like 4 times already, I think, the last week or last 2 weeks.
So is it the same guy?
I don't know, because they
Or
only
is
have
it
video
different?
clips. The only video clip I saw was the most recent one.
Okay.
So, could be. But Verse had this great post on their Instagram where it was the window with the shatter, the brick next to it, and then a cocktail and another cocktail. And it was just like open for business as usual. And I was like, that is so cunty. That is cunty. I love that. Because that's what you got to do. You can't throw the bricks back. You have to just put them on
No,
display.
we're still going. They also have shatterproof glass windows, which, thank goodness. So
Oh
that
yeah,
no
because
one
if it
was
went
hurt.
through that and then the brick hit someone,
Can you imagine
I just want
the
I just
wrath
wanna-
that the gays would have brought down upon that man? He would have
ugly
been
white
nothing.
man.
He would have been
Ugly
nothing.
white
He would have
man.
looked like a spilled cocktail in the street. He would have been just nothing, pulp and juice.
and juice. Pulp and juice.
What is he getting out of throwing the brick at the window, though? Like,
Well, I have a theory. Because I
Mhm.
looked at the man. I looked at him and I went, repressed gay?
here we
I
go.
looked at the man's face and I was like, what if he's repressed gay? And like this is his way of being angry at socially open gays. And they're so in your face about it. And he's trying to be straight. Or he's just evil.
Can I say something actually?
Mhm.
Because I always feel like the response to someone being homophobic or someone having inciting violence against queer people, it's always like, oh, they're repressed, and I'm like, okay, that could happen sometimes, but I feel like most of the time it's just people suck. People are evil. These people are being most likely manipulated by religious extremists,
Or
and
political
they
extremists.
or political extremists, and they believe that queer people are groomers. They believe that
Mhm.
we're dangerous to children, and they're being fed all this stuff from all these political pundits. That's why they believe all this stuff. I don't think it's that they're repressed gays. I think it's just that they're assholes, and they don't
Well, sure.
care. They don't
I
care
think
that
it's
people are harming us.
Oh yeah, I'm sure there's a lovely overlap between the two.
There probably is.
I'm
I
sure
think.
there's a Venn diagram where you can
Oh yeah.
find both in the middle.
What you can do in the middle.
Anyway,
I think it is a lot of people do it because they can now, and I think our justice isn't really there, and we have so little protection and retribution and ways of standing up against these people. And I think a lot of that does stem from lack of community in a way. Like I think now more than ever, not just the gay community, but all across America, there is so little community, and I think it makes fighting against these acts harder because I think people might feel emboldened. That well, what's the worst that they can really do?
Hmm.
It can throw a brick at a window. There is nothing that will stop this guy.
Well, let's take this to the absolute extreme,
Mm-hmm.
which just happened the other day.
Yep.
yeah.
Um,
Yes, a
yeah.
gay bar
I
in Colorado was shot up, mass shooting. 5 people were killed, and I think an additional 20 to or 25 people were injured.
Yeah.
It's been rumored. I don't know if this is true. It's been rumored that the person who did it is like the grandson of like an elected
Yes.
official in California who's like mega
Really?
MAGA. Yeah.
Yes,
Oh.
they identified the man. He's a grandson of some MAGA guy. And then also, apparently this guy was in an armed standoff with police at one point, yet his records were sealed,
I
probably
heard.
because he has relatives in the government, and he was still able to get his hands on at least one long rifle they describe as one of his weapons. I didn't see a description of the other weapon he had. Um, yeah.
Yeah. That's where we're at.
But I will say there was a description of the two people that stopped him. And one of them apparently grabbed, I believe, the other gun and just beat
I
the
heard
shit
that.
out of him. And
I
then a
heard
drag
that.
queen stepped on him with her heel to
Did not hear
get him
that.
to stay. And apparently, I read the description. He said, they quoted the guy saying, like he hit him in the head with the gun, and then he pushed him to the floor, and he just kept beating him and would not stop. And I was like, you know what?
That
Slay.
person was a
Vet.
former veteran. Yeah.
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 And then
Yeah.
the drag queen also helped. And I just thought, I mean, how excellent that, because everyone's comparing the response, to this versus the Uvalde incident where the police didn't go in, even though they knew the
Mhm.
shooter was in there harming kids. And how just excellent that we had those two people there, specifically the vet who probably, knew how to handle himself physically,
Mhm.
but also the drag queen as well, to stop and make sure less people were killed, less people were wounded. Because if they weren't there, or if they weren't able to do it, it would have been the whole club.
Oh yeah.
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 And
Untold violence.
I heard one, or I saw one post say, like, because there's been so much hate on drag queens recently. Everyone's saying, oh, drag queens are dangerous for our children. And
Yeah.
I saw someone say, this drag queen just saved all these people. Um, like this drag queen would probably save all of your children as opposed to being a danger to them.
Yeah.
Whereas the police in Uvalde actually didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
the guts it takes to do something in that situation when you're not trained to do. I mean, the vet obviously probably had some training, but like when you're not trained to handle the situations, to be able to do those things, you know,
I
even
also
if you
think.
are trained, I mean, it's probably a terrible. It's probably completely traumatic. Like to be able to do that, have the wherewithal to like physically put yourself in harm's way to stop someone from hurting and killing other people.
With a gun.
It's just extremely tragic, obviously, but it's very that part at least is sort of you know uh, I don't know, good to hear that there were people that were able to stop it before it got worse. None of it's
No.
good, but at least we were able to like sort of ameliorate the situation.
I agree, and I think on the note of community, I keep thinking about how like it was a former vet,
Yeah.
armed forces at a gay club, and a drag queen, like joining forces. They are that
Right.
stupid handshake meme, but not really. It's so much better.
The cross section of it, where two
Yeah.
worlds intersected
Yeah.
and what normally are not, they're seen as two very different things. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just like,
I think there's a lot to be said there, and I think there's a lot to be said for our potential as a community, as a people, to be better than where we are now.
yeah,
Do you
it's
think?
just awful.
Do you guys think that it's fair? All of the rhetoric going around right now, basically blaming. Do you think that it's fair to blame like all these political pundits who have demonized the
Yes.
LGBTQ community over the last year?
Oh yes, absolutely,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely.
Yeah. I think it's fanning the flames that were already, there and starting. I think all of the rhetoric that's been spread should be held accountable.
Look what
I agree.
happened during COVID.
Oh
You
yeah.
had Fox News saying this virus was engineered by China. It was like born there, spread from there, and then uptick in anti-Asian violence
Yep.
or
Yep.
violence against Asians. Like, you connect the line, please. Like, it's you say something online, you say something in on the news or whatever, and there's a direct correlation to your avid fan base that watches it. So when you have all these people saying, because if someone told me this group of people is trying to molest and rape or groom your children, I'd be like, we need to stop them.
Yeah.
Because no one wants kids harmed. So when you're sitting there, at 9 p.m. with your Pabst Blue and your fucking beer belly hanging out, sitting in your lazy boy, and Tucker
Yeah.
Carlson is saying your kids are in danger, I totally understand why people would just jump to being like, oh my god, we have to save the kids.
Yeah.
So I get the wanting to protect kids. Obviously, it's completely skewed and completely not true. But like, yeah, you have these people saying Lauren Bobart, Lauren Bimbo,
Bobart.
Lauren Bimbo, and Marjorie Taylor Twat going outside saying sanctity of marriage this, and your kids are gonna get groomed, and they're gonna want to transition. They're gonna shoot your kids up with hormones at 5 years old. They're gonna rip out their organs and replace them with other. No. Like, of course I'd want to protect kids after hearing all that. It sounds awful. But of course that's what they want. And then you have people like this, and you have the guy that throws bricks at people, and you have the group of people in New York who are like date raping people and robbing them, and they end up dead from drug overdoses. So like, you get what you put out. You put out garbage, you put out fear, you put out anger, and you get it in your society. So it's, you know what, I saw that post by that kid Matt not you Matt, the other Matt, on Twitter
Yeah.
saying
Oh.
like, you have blood on your hands, and it was like Tucker Carlson, Lauren Bobart, all these other Republican, Candace Owens and people, and I was like, they do.
They do.
And they're not going to
Yeah.
lose sleep over it.
No.
And there is no gods. There's no like fucking final judgment, and there's no such thing as karma that I believe in. So they're gonna go off and just be fine.
Yeah.
But I hope
And
that there is something
somehow
like
still.
that. I hope there is some force in the universe that finds a way to wiggle into their life and make it a living hell.
I agree.
I don't want them dead. That's not what I'm not like
No, no.
Jackie.
I want
Jackie.
no. Wait. I want to see them suffer.
I want to see them
I want
suffer.
to see them suffer.
Clap if you think they should suffer.
I want them to suffer. If they're gonna die, they suffer for all of the blood that they have shed. Not just this incident, but like Pat said, COVID, all these little violent acts, all of the the thought patterns that are now embedded in society, that's on them. That's on Fox News.
Yeah.
Connect the dots. It does spell out Fox News, bitch.
It's
And
the red line, the red
it's
thread.
One thing that I didn't like either is that I kept seeing people like Ben Shapiro or these other political pundits who make these statements. I keep seeing them go on Twitter and be like, listen, you can't, blame us or blame people for these terrible tragedies. It's just like this one-off person who went crazy. And I'm like, they're like, you can't politicize these tragedies. We have to mourn the victims or whatever. I'm like, okay, we're going to politicize this tragedy because the tragedy is political because you politicized our existence in the first place.
Yeah.
You're the ones who said gay people are trying to groom your kids just for existing in schools. You politicized our existence. So obviously when something like this happens, it's going to be politicized. You can't just say, don't politicize this when it's a political thing that happened because you started it.
Yeah. They can't be like, you can't be like, oh my God, abortion is murder. We have to like save the uteruses. But then, when people are trying to be like, oh, it's between a, woman and their doctor or a vagina person and their doctor. They're like, oh, no, don't say that. No, it's not about that. It's about, sanctity of life and blah, 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 blah. It's like, no, you want to, politicize a woman's uterus or a person's uterus. Then you have to politicize back to get the rights to protect that uterus. So if you want to politicize queer people, then you have to politicize the traumas that happen and then ensuring there are laws protecting them from such things, or at least, laws that will make it so people who harm them are fully, put to task and jailed or whatever we're going to do with this motherfucker who's, oh God.
Thou shalt not be named.
I would love to see a kind of, if I could look back at like a historical timeline of all the events in like human history, I would love to see the point at which when guns became a political topic so that we landed here. Like where in the timeline of this MCU did we fucking veer off and land here? Yeah, because we're not where we're supposed to be. This timeline fucking sucks. I wish I could see that moment so that it could be snapped and undone, or at least witness it so I can look at them and say, thou stupid bitch.
Well, this is just like Don't Look Up, the film.
I haven't seen that.
Have you seen it, man?
I have seen it, yes, actually.
It's just going to be a lot of infighting, and then we're all going to die because we're too busy infighting. We're too busy fighting about truths that are they? Is it a fact? Is it a lie? Too busy fighting about things that we shouldn't be fighting about, and then all of a sudden, long before we even know it, we're gone. We're gone.
Yep. An asteroid hits the Earth, yeah.
Yeah, or like climate change, or we all blow each other up with loose nukes. It's just gonna be like it's gonna be like that, and then before we know it, bam.
Yeah.
Bye.
I mean, Jackie, just for your reference, in Don't Look Up, there's an asteroid headed to hit the planet. And basically all the scientists are like, there's an asteroid coming at us, like we need to do something about it. And instead of doing something about it, they like somehow go to like capitalize on it. They're like, oh, we should mine the asteroid for minerals and not get rid of it.
It's too real.
It's eerily, it's a, part of me didn't like the movie because of how eerily uncomfortable it made me, because I'm like, that is exactly what would happen.
Plausible.
It's not, it's like, I can't even suspend my disbelief because there was no disbelief going in. I knew it was going to happen like that. I was like, oh God.
Oh man.
Yeah, oh boy. So. Anyway, is there anything else we want to discuss on this topic?
I mean, did anything positive happen for gay people? Can we end on a positive note?
Well, the Marriage Equality Act, but yeah.
Well, yes. What's his name from Heartstopper? Not Joe Locke, the other one.
Oh no, isn't that negative?
No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about something else.
Oh, okay, Kit Connor.
Kit Connor.
Thank you.
He posted a photo recently from him in the gym.
I gotta go look. What's his name?
Kit Connor, I think his name is.
He's 18. He's 18. So
I'm not saying I want to fuck this man. I don't. He is a child. Even though he's 18, he's still to me, he's still a child.
Yeah.
But he just posted a photo recently, I don't know, of him in like the gym or something, and I was just like,
is it him in this white tank top?
I don't know. Let me.
Very nice. Very nice.
He's always wearing white shirt. He's got huge arms. That's all I was gonna say. Yeah, he's in a white tank top. He's got huge arms. His hair is pushed back. I mean, that's That's gay. I mean, I love or bisexual identity, but that's lovely. I love that.
There's a whole other conversation we could have about Kit Connor, but I don't know if we want to do that in this episode.
No, that's gonna depress me more. Let's move on to the last.
Well, actually, next up would be frigid or spicy, but I actually don't have any because I didn't come prepared to this episode.
Okay, cool. Then let's just
wrap up.
Let's just vibe. Yeah.
Let's just wrap up. Jackie, give me something positive that happened recently.
So I was at a bar and I saw a very attractive himbo. Oh my god!
Describe what a himbo is. Can you describe what a himbo is for the class?
If I were to paint a narrative, I know nothing about this person, but if I were to write the narrative upon just looks, it would be like simple, well-built man, works bar in a lovely sculpted tank top or t-shirt. I don't remember what he was wearing, but I was looking at a lot of his arms, and he had a really nice face. Very nice jawline, very sweet smile, very polite and nice.
When I think of himbo, the first person that pops into my head is Krong from Emperor's New Groove.
He did kind of have. There was something about. Yeah, no, there was like a little like. I think he's probably just simple. Nothing wrong.
Yeah, like basically
kind of simple.
Not necessarily like that they're airheaded, but like they're just like not a care in the world, kind of like just vibing.
Yeah, he was kind of vibing. I wanted to be like, you wanna go like vibe somewhere? Just like hang out.
Yeah. Pat's done with this conversation.
Pat's done with this conversation. And there was another bartender that Roz was like, that looks like Janet and I want to go flirt with them. And I was like, pop off.
Who's Janet?
Janet from The Good Place.
Oh. Yeah. Oh, Janet.
Darcy Carter?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah,
she's great. I love her.
She's great.
She is great. Lesbian icon. Even though I don't think they're a lesbian.
I don't think they are, but y'all need to watch that show. Lesbian
yeah,
icon.
Oh, very good show. Very good show.
I think Jackie's talking about A League of Their Own.
League of Their Own, yep.
Oh, I thought we were talking about The Good Place.
They're both. Darcy Carden is in both.
Yes, she is. She's like the co-lead or whatever in A League of Their Own.
Yeah, that's a show I want to see scissoring in.
Back to scissoring, full circle in this episode, actually.
Yeah, full circle.
Right scissoring. Back to scissoring. All right, well, thank you everybody for listening or watching this episode of the What to the Gays Thing podcast. This is where I would normally tell you to go follow us on Twitter, but honestly, Twitter's kind of in limbo right now. But
put it anyway.
I mean,
go ahead and follow us at WDTGT Podcast.
Those ears.
Where we will most likely post our update. Jackie's talking about ears.
Oh, look at that ear!
I see his ears.
Oh, the big
ear. Oh, the big ears.
I see it.
Oh, look at that face.
He's like, "What are we doing?"
Oh, Axel's like, "Are we recording an episode? Is it time?"
He's been so quiet.
Jackie has a Twitter too. What's your Twitter, Jackie?
My Twitter for while it's lasting is at king_jaqueen. KING_JAKWEEN. Get at me.
Nice. We do stream on Twitch sometimes too. Our Twitch is What Do the Gamers Think? GAYMERS. Jackie also has a Twitch. What's your Twitch, Jackie?
My Twitch is Jackie_the_bananas.
And typically we stream on Mondays and Thursdays, like at 8 or 8:30 Eastern time. And yeah, we also have a Discord, which might be the place where you should go to get our updates from now on. Our Discord is Pride Empire. You can click the link in the description to join our Discord. Thank you so much for joining, Jackie. I very much appreciate having you on the podcast all the time. And I am Matt Klubeck.
And I'm scissoring. Patrick.
And I'm throwing a brick back at that man.
He better.
Better watch out, bitch.
Goodbye.